afternoon, my name's Chris and I live on the island of Unst in the Shetland Islands. Welcome to my channel. Excuse the chicken noises in the background, they're being very noisy today. So today's video is about some plugs. The last skip day, I go around cutting off all the cords off all the electricals people are throwing away. And I've got lots of old style plugs. So I kept them all for the purpose of the video. 20 there, nice round number. And then I've got another one on an extension cord. And then another one, this is really old, is attached to this little box, which says danger 250 volts. And a very old style plug. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this one yet, so I'll keep that as it is. I might be able to do something with that box. And what's in it? We don't know. We can always have a look. Anyway, back to the plugs. Things I like about these, as we all do. I'll pick up the nice old one. Brass. Lots of it. Well, I say lots of it. For what you do, God, you never go quite far enough. There we go. There's a tiny little bit of brass in there as well. Don't forget that bit. You have to break those usually to get those out. Smash it with a hammer. So you take that bit off, and it's just a case of, I've got the only one that it won't do. So push them through. But this is a really old style one. So you've got brass screws on there holding the wires in. Don't worry, I'm not going to go through all of these. We'll just pop this one out. Fuses. This is probably the most difficult one of the lot, so why not start with it? And then undo the little ones holding the cable on. On this one, these are brass as well. A lot of the newer ones, they aren't. But these, the older ones, they're all brass. So you get a little bit of extra for your money. And the wires just fall out. I think this one, yeah, I'm going to have to smash those out of that one, just because it's a really old one. So we've got two bits there to smash apart to get the brass. We'll go for a more modern one. Got one with a short cable on it. So straight away you can see with this one, the screws in there are not brass. Boo. So old is good. Alright, we'll just undo these little screws. There we go. Not even any brass in there, so that's just a piece of plastic. And then they just push out. And again, just a piece of plastic. Another fuse. I'll make piles of everything, and then when I'm done, you can see what we end up with. So these ones have, that hold the fuse on, they're copper. And then you get a little, I'll just bend those out of the way. In the centre is another piece of copper in there, if you can get those out. Sometimes they're a bit tricky. but I cut the plastic off there as well, just because. And then we've got a couple of little screws in the top, which on a new one, I think, well, most of them these days are, I don't know, really lucky boy, I've got brass ones there. You have to check them because a lot of them, these in the newer ones, are not brass. There we go, and then lovely piece of cable. So I'll crack on with the rest of them and we'll see what we get at the end. So there we are. Took me about half an hour. Got the fuses, copper ends, if you want to smash them all up. That's the brass. That's the mixed copper and brass. And then the plastic to take off. It's quite a big pile of that. These pieces with the brass in, I've got to smash the brass out of them. I'm trying to take long. And a little pile of screws. So I'm going to go micro scrap all this lot, which shouldn't take too long. Smash these up and get all the brass and the copper, get it separate, and then we'll have a weigh in. So hopefully it won't take too long, and we're back in a little while. Ooh, too close. Let's move that out the way a sec. Go up. There we go. If that's any better. Right, that's taken me about an hour altogether, stripping the plugs. 20 plugs, so we're going to have a little weigh in and see what we got. So there's a little bit of copper. Remember, these were all old style plugs, so they're much better than the moulded plugs. And you seem to get a little bit more out of them as well. In that tiny little bit. There we go, 29 grams of lovely copper. Alright, let's go with the brass. Nice. We all love a bit of brass. I can only use one hand because the other one's holding my power bank to charge my phone. Let's get those few little bits. There we go. And that is 420 grams of brass, so that's really nice. It's almost half a kilo out of 20 plugs. That's brilliant. What did that work out at? Try and do some maths in my head. 420, 20 plugs, say 21 grams for each plug. And that's nice. And then we got all the screws. We might as well weigh them as well while we're here. Which are worth absolute pence, but who cares? 45 grams. just from the screws. And we've got all the fuses as well. We're not going to weigh those. So, 20 plugs, I think 29 grams of copper, 420 grams of brass, and 45 grams with the screws. Right, let's see if I can do this without... Get my little mug in there. There we go. So, old style plugs, brilliant. Moulded ones, not so much fun. I've also got all this cable to sort out now as well. And a lot of these have little brass fittings on the end. I even take all those off as well. But because they're not in the plugs, I'm not counting them with the plugs. So I'm going to get myself busy stripping this lot. There's probably another kilo of copper there, which will keep me busy when the rain comes tomorrow. So thank you for watching. Thank you for all the subscriptions and the likes and the comments. They're all great. I do like answering the comments and having a read of them. And in the meantime, keep scrapping.